Okay, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vidz, and this is the Ankle Breaker Podcast, episode 60. So we're 60 episodes into the Ankle Breaker Podcast, and wow, only another 40 away from 100, eh? That's crazy to think. But tonight on the podcast, I am joined by All Out Champion who makes his return after his absence last week, and for the very first time on the YouTube channel as well, got Luke Melbourne Storm Fan. So it's very exciting as I do like getting new people on the channel, and Luke's obviously a new face to the YouTube channel. So I'll start with you first, Luke. How you been, mate? And the pleasure having you on.
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah. Obviously, it's been very good to be on the channel for the first time, and I am nervous for this Wednesday, but hopefully the Maroons win it.
Yeah, no, it'd be a good game, I think, on Wednesday, Origin. I think game one's going to be a cracker. And obviously, we saw it in the weekend as well at the Eagles and Cowboys game. So that was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you on, Luke. It really is. And Champa, obviously, as a regular co-host, how you been, bro? And up the Blues, eh?
Up the Blues, up the mighty Blues. I'm doing well. Apologies for my absence last week. Everyone, work decided they loved me so much they wanted to keep me on for a few more hours. But I'm back. I'm here. I'm here to get through this podcast. Got my host, Pro Enzo, a special guest, Luke Melbourne Storm Fan. Great to have him on the channel. I saw he was wearing a Maroons jersey, so I thought, you know what, I have to bust out the New South Wales Blues jersey. So I'm bringing this bad boy out for the podcast, mate. Wednesday, I cannot wait. Origin period, Origin week, whatever you want to call it, it's here. We got some Origin news to talk about today. So everybody, stay tuned, pop a cold one, and enjoy the show.
That's it, Champa. Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think it's going to be very hard to split you both up because obviously one's in a Queensland Maroons jersey, the other one's in a New South Wales Blues jersey. So when we talk about some of the topics for tonight, and it's because it's based on Origin, how I split you both up, I don't know, because there could be a debate going on. So I'll be ready for it. But it should be a good show. But we will go for the I guess who's here in the live chat. So we've got someone called Josh says hi everyone. We've got CJ Moxley, Jason Reeder, Josh Rabbitohs 2023. Got Nick from Australia, Aramani. Rishi Zunak says, hey, Pro Enzo and live chat, you guys going? Yep, nice. Good to see you, mate. Jason Reeder says, up the Maroons. Yeah, well, be interesting to see who's supporting Q on Wednesday. Nighthawk Gaming, hello. And, hello to everyone that's currently watching right now as we speak. We have 10 people in the live chat. Before I do start, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel of myself and All Out Champa, and go and check out Luke Melbourne Storm Fan as well. I've linked both their channels in the description down below, so go and check them out if you haven't already. Subscribe or any, I guess, new subscribers to our channels will be greatly appreciated. But boys, it's time to get into it, I think.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so round 13 review. So obviously, both Tigers and Storm had the bye this week, so both of them did not play. So obviously Manly did, and we lost, which I'm not all in all happy about, but we will talk about in a minute. But round 13 review. So just our quick thoughts on how you thought the round went from every game that happened from, I guess, Friday to Sunday. I'll start with you first, Champa. What did you think about the round of round 13, in your opinion? Less games.
Yeah, it was a very interesting round. Obviously, Origin period, so we didn't see a lot of teams play. And with the teams play, obviously, some players were out for Origin duties. Dolphins, Dragons, a pretty predictable game, this one. Dolphins is running straight through the Dragons like nothing. Parramatta Cowboys, the game that we were at, all three of us. And look, it was a very scrappy game, I'd say. They threw skill out the window, and it was just very scrappy, some errors there. But, you know, an entertaining game. Parramatta got away with the win. Warriors, Brisbane. Surprisingly, the Warriors, and not surprisingly, the Brisbane, the baby Bronx, they got up. I thought the Warriors were going to take this one easy. But Brisbane got up, and then, look, a very controversial, I wouldn't say controversial, more like a brain explosion at the end from Adam Pompey. But yeah, who was the one that made the try-saving tackle from the Brisbane team? It was, can't put a name on who it was.
Yeah, I can't think either.
But he came in with the hand right under and denied that try. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
Well, was it Sailor?
I think it might have been Sailor on debut, eh? I think it
Yeah,
might have been
maybe the
Sailor.
fullback. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so there was that. Raiders, Rabbitohs. Raiders put in a great performance against Rabbitohs, and obviously Knights Manly, a game that you probably don't want to talk about. Manly were woeful. Weeks was terrible, and I've been talking up this kid for a long time. Weeks, yeah, he made me look like an idiot. But Knights came in, they picked up the win. Apart from that, round 13, very interesting round. You know, even with the players out, most of the reserve players stood up, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, well said. Well said. I think the games this weekend were good in some ways, but there were obviously some things that I guess linger as an issue again for another week. So I guess there's something we're going to talk about in the topics after this, actually with some of the officiating over the weekend. But I'll get to you now, Luke. What were your thoughts around 13 of the NRL? Obviously, Melbourne have the bye, so they didn't play. But from each game you saw in round 13, what did you make of it? What was your favourite game of the round, in your opinion?
I'd probably say the game of the round. I have to go with South and Canberra.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Obviously, Paramount Cowboys was good, but obviously some bad calls when the Cowboys way was probably a bit ridiculous. But
yeah,
I'd probably say the worst game was probably the Dragons and the Dolphins. Really, it was pretty boring to watch. So
I agree.
And obviously for you guys, unfortunately for you guys, you just lost it. You just lost with about 2 more minutes to go, so it's a bit disappointing.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I thought round 13 was good, but I'm pretty sure round 14 might be even better. So
yeah, it should be. No, it should be, and no, I agree, Luke. Hopefully round 14 is better, and because I think during this round there was a lot of, like I said before, a lot of officiating mistakes, a lot of bad calls in each game. It felt like Dragons Dolphins was a bad call where I guess the Jack Bird try and Nicaragua's tackle, you know, that could have been an 8-point try. It was just ridiculous how Nicaragua didn't get anything for that. Then obviously on Friday on the Friday as well, Cowboys and Eels. Well, there were some bad calls there because I think, I guess being at the game, and as Vic says in the comments here, refs love para. Well, yeah, they did. That's how it felt like on Friday. That's how it did feel like on Friday because every penalty was blown to Parramatta, and I felt like Cowboys were only getting penalties when they were behind on the scoreboard. So it was just a bit of bias there, it felt like at times. Then obviously, the game on Saturday between Broncos and Warriors was controversial. I didn't see this game because obviously we were all at, some of us were at Rabbitohs and Raiders, but I think just the try at the end, how it was no tries. Some people were saying that it should have been a try. Some were saying that it was a fair call, it was no try. So once I guess I see a bit more replays, I will give a better judgment. But controversy in that game too. Rabbitohs and Raiders, more controversy with how that game went. Grant Atkins was making some really tough calls, I felt like, against South Sydney. I do feel like they were a bit dudded in some ways, Souths. Not robbed, obviously, but just, there was a bit of bias, I felt like, towards Raiders there during the game. Then obviously on Sunday, well, they get me started because I'm already not in the mood about talking about how bad the referee was by Peter Goff, who I think is a total dickhead. So, but I'll mention that later. But yeah, some of the calls that I made in that game were just as worse. So, look, it was obviously, like I said, not an all nor bad round, I felt like, but a lot of bad calls were made, no doubt about that. All right, we'll get to our player of round 13 now. So basically the player we thought was the best across the round. I'll start with you first, Champa. During round 13, mate, who was the player that stood out for you the most? And who's your player of the round?
Look, I got to go with the 5'8" from Parramatta, Dylan Brown. We were at that game, and look, for a game that was scrappy, he really stood up as the most skillful player. I still can't get over that try-saving tackle he made where he ran from like one side of the field to the other. And who did he tackle? Who was it? Was it
Chad Townsend.
Townsend, that's right. He tackled Townsend. An amazing tackle. Not only that, his kicking game was on point. Passing was looking great. He was just so solid on the field. And Dylan Brown, look, this season he's really coming out as a player. And look, I think the rise of Dylan Brown is on. If there's one player that can take Parramatta back to the finals, I reckon it's Dylan Brown. So he's my player of the round.
He was great Friday, wasn't he? I think he was the main conductor in Parramatta's win on Friday. So I think Dylan Brown being your player of the round was a good call. And just been reminded actually in the live chat. I don't know how I missed this, but live chat and a donation by Mr. Lachlan. He has given a $5 donation. So Mr. Lachlan, thank you for the $5 donation. Really do appreciate it, mate. He says New South Wales to win by 10 and also Parenzo. What do you think of the Roosters this year? Can they still make the top 4? Well, first of all, thank you for the donation, Lachlan. And lose by 10, I love that. I hope it does happen. And now he says the Roosters and what I think about them. Well,
I don't think so.
Definitely not good enough. Like, definitely not at a stage where they should be. Because I think by this time this year, as we all predicted, the Roosters will be in the top 4. We all felt like, but now they're just fighting for a place in the 8 and are like 12th or something on the ladder. So it really is concerning. I understand there's some injuries, and I know you can't always control that, but I think the way they've been playing as of recent is not good enough. So once they get their full team together, it could be a bit better, but I don't know. Even with some of their stars there, they still look average. So I don't know. Roosters are in a weird patch at the moment, but hopefully they go better for you, Mr. Lachlan. Hopefully they go better for you. Now I'll get back to you, Luke. Who was your player of the round for round 13, mate? Like, who's the player?
I'm gonna go with that Raiders player. I forgot his name. Who was it?
Jack Whiten?
No, I think he scored a hat trick on the weekend.
Hopewadi.
Yeah. I'm going with him. I thought he was outstanding.
He was. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a very good call. I think, he obviously Hopewadi came from Manly and obviously was young and couldn't really stick it with an opportunity at the club. But now he's gone to Canberra. He's definitely finding his feet there and he looks at home there. So he's definitely went to Canberra.
I think that game helped him get back into form because previous games he was looking a bit woeful, and I was thinking this guy shouldn't be playing first grade. I think that game played him back into good form, and it's going to be interesting how the Raiders turn up against our boys, the Tigers. So if Albert Hopewadi brings that fight like he did against the Rabbitohs, then we're going to have some trouble on the outside. But I think that game probably played him back into form.
He did, without a doubt, and he's obviously a player that's improving, so it's good to see. As for my player of the round for the round itself, it's tough because I think there's a few players I could definitely go with here, but I got to agree with you, Champ. I think the way Dylan Brown played on Friday, it's worthy for me of being player of the round. He was very good against the Cowboys, and like I said before, he was one of the main reasons why they won Friday and managed to fight and hold in there to win. So I'd say Dylan Brown is my player of the round as well. But we will get into the 5 topics now, and the topics that are pretty big. I've made sure of that, and will be interesting to go through. So we are starting off with an Origin topic, of course, because that's the whole sort of, I guess, talk at the moment, NRL talk with Origin being here. So topic number 1. Should State of Origin continue to host games at Adelaide going forward? So obviously game 1 this year we hosted in Adelaide, and it hasn't before in the past, which is because we need at least one neutral venue to host both New South Wales and Queensland. In the past, it's been Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, and I'm pretty sure that's it so far, as the other venues have hosted a neutral sort of game there for Queensland and New South Wales. But Adelaide has had a history of getting poor attendance because of not selling out for some reason. And from what I hear, the whole game 1 of Origin hasn't sold out yet. So it says a lot about Adelaide, because I guarantee it was like Melbourne or Perth. I felt like, maybe they will sell out just as quicker. So I don't know why Adelaide hasn't yet. But Champa, are you a fan of games for State of Origin being played in Adelaide going forward, or do you think that it should stay there as that neutral venue? What do you reckon?
Oh, look, the numbers don't lie. Obviously, you taking a State of Origin game away from a ground that's not from Queensland or New South Wales, the attendance isn't going to be as massive as it would be in one of those home games. And obviously, it wouldn't sell out as quick as a game that would be in New South Wales or in Queensland. However, I do feel like there needs to be some sort of break when it comes to like what I mean by a break is there needs to be mutual ground. So I do agree that there should be games taken away from the home games because I was never a fan of 2 games we playing at Queensland, 1 at New South Wales, or 1 at Queensland, 2 at New South Wales. I always see it as a disadvantage. I think the game. I think it's a hard one to call because where do you put the neutral ground? Do you put it at the end of the series? But then again, like say if New South Wales win the series, obviously they want to celebrate in their state other than like somewhere in Adelaide. Do you have it? I think probably having it at the start is probably the best option. I do feel like there needs to be some sort of like some sort of probably fairness when it comes to these home games because a home ground advantage instead of Origin helps massively for the home team. It's more different than a home game for an NRL team. Trust me. The team feeds off that home energy. So I am a fan, and I do agree that there needs to be an Origin game held in like a game like Adelaide or say Melbourne. As for Adelaide in general, I guess it's really showing the sort of fan base that's in South Australia because we was talking about the 18 team where it should be held at. I think Adelaide's showing us right now that maybe their love for rugby league isn't as big as we thought it was because it's not selling out as quick. I mean, Origin's only 2 days away and it's not even a sellout. I mean, geez, like bloody game 3 in New South Wales is almost a sellout, and that's like a month or 2 away. So,
Exactly.
I do agree there should be mutual games. Held in mutual. I do agree there should be Origin games held in mutual venues. However, I think Adelaide might be something we need to leave in the past. Maybe Melbourne or Perth because they always seem to get better attendance.
Yeah. No, that's pretty well said to me, and I think the fact that I think maybe having a neutral venue at the start of the series is the way to go. I agree because, like you said, I don't think having it somewhere like Adelaide or a Perth or Melbourne. And that team, that state wins the series, celebrates it there, other than even New South Wales or Queensland. So it looks weird, doesn't it? Like if you celebrate it elsewhere other than New South Wales or Queensland. So I think having it at the start is the right idea. But yeah, hopefully we don't see anything that happened like 2020 because remember when that was played? We had that as the second game. I'm pretty sure game 2 was in Adelaide. I think it was. So yeah, hopefully we don't have anything like that again. So it's always game 1. Always game 1 you have a neutral sort of ground and played it, I think. And game 2, game 3, either between Queensland or New South Wales in whatever order I guess they pick it in. But no, other than that, I agree, Champa. And Luke, what's your thoughts on this one, mate? Would you like to see games in Adelaide for host day of Origin going forward, or do you want to have that Adelaide thing go on and have like a Melbourne or Perth host the neutral venue instead?
Look, I think game 1 in Adelaide. Look, I really hope it'll be a big crowd on Wednesday night. I really hope it is because if it's not, it'll be very disappointed. But
Definitely.
look, I believe game 1 should be in Adelaide, but I think if the series is 1-1, you feel like you have to lift the shield back on your home state, or Queensland or New South Wales. You have to lift the shield on your home state, because if you lift the shield somewhere else, like in Melbourne, or in Adelaide or Perth, I don't like it. I think lifting the shield on your home territory is the perfect way to finish the series.
Absolutely.
I think game 1 having it somewhere else is fine because let's just say this: if we win game 1 and we have a chance to wrap it up in game 2, that means game 3 probably won't be as big because the series has already gone. So
yeah,
it's very tough. It's very tough to tell the difference. But personally, I think game 1 in LA is perfect. And game 2 in Queensland and game 3 in New South Wales, I think it's perfect. I think because I remember last year in 2020. No, not last year. I think it was 2020. Game 1 was in Adelaide. Then game 2 was in New South Wales, and game 3 was in Queensland, and we won the series in that one as well. So I think
Oh, okay.
having game one in Adelaide, game 2 in Suncorp, and then game 3 at ANZ, I think it's perfect for this year. I really do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I believe if you're gonna lift the shield in another state like Perth or Adelaide or Melbourne or that, I don't like it. I think it will be a bit strange.
It would be for sure. Yeah, because I think having a series decided in, I guess, that like a state like Adelaide, Perth, or Melbourne, or wherever else, it looks weird, right? So I think having that final game 3 in Queensland or New South Wales is the best option. So I'm glad they haven't really touched that.
Yeah,
NRL.
because back in the years we've seen a lot of big deciders in New South Wales and Queensland, and they've been absolutely terrific as well. So I think having the series in 2 states for the last 2 matches is perfect. I think
It is. Yeah, it
I
is.
believe in game 1, have it wherever you want, but when in game 2 and game 3, have it in Queensland and New South Wales.
Absolutely, Luke. I think that's
Yeah.
the well said truth there. So, I'm just glad that the game hasn't like put like an Adelaide venue for the game 3. I think that's how they should have it, as that game 1 only. But as for if I want the game of State of Origin to be played at Adelaide going forward, no, I don't. I think having it at Melbourne's a lot better, because obviously as a Melbourne Storm fan yourself, Luke, you know how big the crowds can get at Melbourne. So,
Yeah.
And that's evidence to say that the people do turn up in Melbourne, and I think they will turn up for a game in Origin as well. So I think having that in Melbourne, I think, is the right way to go. Adelaide is a bigger stadium, obviously, because they use the MCG. If it was Origin there, but yeah, I think having it in Melbourne is just what I would do for that neutral venue. But it's each their own, so we'll see what they do next year. But Adelaide, it's not my favourite sort of place to have it, I don't reckon.
Nah.
But we'll move on to the second topic now. And I know this is one that Champa has some sort of hate towards of how the game wants to actually get rid of these jerseys for some reason. Don't know why. But I think for now, they're sticking with those jerseys, which is good. So obviously the what's it called? NRL was not happy about how the Blues have this navy blue jersey, which is it's a very dark jersey, which is like they had back in 2019, I think, which was in Perth as well. That similar jersey, and I don't know why. I don't understand it, because it's a jersey that looks good to me. It looks better than their home jersey, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't understand why the NRL wanted to backtrack on these jerseys and get rid of them. It's really weird to me. I can't understand the real issue. I really can't. But Champa, I'll let you have your say in it. What do you make of this mess? This is really ridiculous, isn't it, by the NRL?
Yeah, it really is. First, I just want to say thank you to New South Wales Rugby League for not selling out to the NRL and for sticking to their guns and running out with those navy blue jerseys. They look amazing. I will be buying me one, and I will be wearing it, hopefully, in the next few podcasts. However, for the NRL, I'm sorry. I forgot it was the NRL's decision to, choose or to dictate whether, what sort of jerseys you wear. That's not up to them. All right, it's up to the clubs, and it's up to the team. Like, if New South Wales wants to run out with navy blue jerseys, let them. What's the harm? It's blue, navy blue. Yeah, it may not be sky blue, but it's still blue. So what if it's a different? So what if it's a different color? I can't really get into much detail about it. Like, who cares? It's a fucking jersey. Get over it. Like, what were they so? I still don't understand the reason of why they were so fixated on getting rid of us getting rid of these jerseys. Like, it makes no sense. Like, if they allowed it before, why are you throwing a fit now? Like, what's the difference? You let it happen before, so just let it happen again. If you really did not like these jerseys, they should have stopped us from playing it at the start when we brought it into what I think was 2020. And those jerseys look amazing. Yeah, they may not fit the tradition of what the Blues jerseys usually look like, but sometimes, sometimes the change of scenery is for the better. I know a lot of people say, it's not broken, don't fix it. And did the Blues jersey really needed the change? Maybe not, but the changes happened, and it actually looks pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it looks great, and I think the NRL needs to just stay out of it because it's none of their business. It's none of their business.
It's not. No way.
The NRL needs to focus on the NRL teams and let New South Wales Rugby League and Queensland Rugby League handle the state of origin, all right? Fucking marks, man, I tell you. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's a real mess, isn't it? Like, really, the NRL should really just stick to the game and the current issues that are there with the referee, like we've been talking about. So, instead of carrying on about Jersey for once and for all, worry about the NRL and the referees there. They're making the wrong calls in the bunker too. So, that's more worse than a Jersey, and worrying about that, I reckon. Go back to this comment, though, what Nick said. In the comments, he says, the people complaining about the Blues jersey go smell a public toilet after an event, get fucked. Fucking hell. Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I think those people and the NRL really need to have a hard look at themselves. It's a jersey, like you said, champ. It's a jersey. I know it's not the brightest blue, but it's a jersey that's been accepted before, like 2019, all that same jersey. So what's the difference now? I don't get it. Luke, I'll go to your thoughts, mate. I know you're a Queensland Maroon supporter, so I know you won't care too much, but
No.
you've probably seen the Blues dark jersey, and the NRL want to get rid of them. Like, do you think it's a bad call for them to say for it to go? But I think they're keeping it now. So, what do you think about that?
I think it is a bad call from them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a freaking jersey. So
yeah.
So it's up to them. It's up to them if they want to wear it or not. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's kind of ridiculous how the game, or the NRL, I should say, wants to make this whole dark blue jersey thing a real issue. I think it's behind something as well. I think it's just because it's representing the police force or something. I think that's what it is. I don't know if it's actually representing that, but I think I can see on the emblems, there's like little police logos there. So it's a bit disrespectful if the NRL wants to get rid of those type of jerseys, as they're pretty one in a lifetime. They're representing the police force. That's really disgusting.
If that's the case, that is horrible. Like, the police deserve the utmost respect, and for the Blues to honor them is amazing, and for the NRL to get rid of that is disgusting.
100%. And I don't get it, because the NRL has that many issues with referees. Like, for one, fix the referees and their calls. Like, you got to look at that first of all before a jersey. The bunker is in a worse state as well. And the game itself needs a real look at themselves. But crying and worrying about one jersey is just honestly ridiculous. So I'm not happy about it either. How the NRL wanted to change these jerseys and get rid of them. But I'm glad the New South Wales Rugby League, area and the company wanted to keep these jerseys and fight for these jerseys to be kept. So very good to see, and I can't wait to see them run out these jerseys on Wednesday night. And maybe I'll even buy one too, because they're that nice. I really do like them. I really do. They're a nice jersey and nothing wrong with them. So the NRL has failed that time. So that's for sure. All right, we'll move on to another, I guess, breaking big sort of news for the Blues, which is a big blow, and it's sad to see because one of our best players, a player that is making his return to the arena this year, has unfortunately gone down with a calf injury at training, I'm pretty sure. And don't know how long he'll be out for, but it's very sad to see that Latrell Mitchell has been ruled out for game one of State of Origin. Not ideal, especially with it being the eve of Origin for this year. It does suck. It does suck a lot. And obviously his replacement is Stephen Crichton, which is not a bad replacement, because Crichton is a good player and obviously has been in big moments before. But losing Latrell, losing his intensity to a game, that's going to hurt us. I really think it will. I'm glad I've got Tom in the centres as the other centre, but losing Latrell for game one, that hurts, because he brings a lot of aggression, brings a lot of class to a game, but that sucks. Champa, how big is this loss of the Blues losing Latrell? Like that really hurts us, doesn't it, for game one? That is a real pain to suffer.
Yeah, look, Latrell Mitchell is very similar to Gagai when it's like, what I mean by that is when it comes to Origin, he's a totally different player.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, he brings that intensity and he turns it up to 1,000. His attack is mint. His defense is really good. He can break through the line so easy, and it's just really sad to see him go. Very close to Origin as well. I hope he's good enough for game 2, because that could be a deciding game whether we win it or not. So yeah, not it's just very sad. But look, I have faith in Stephen Crichton. He obviously, last game he didn't put in the best performance, but I feel like he needed that one game to just get an experience of what Origin's like. And look, Crichton, he's had a very, very good season this year. He's been one of the top centers in the game. I'd say he's even been like close to top 5. He's been that good. So I'm sure he's gonna switch it up for Origin. He'll be playing next to To'o. He'll be playing next to Luai. They obviously know each other's games so well. I know a lot of people say, the Penrith connection's gonna flop and stuff. Okay. I'll be honest. All right, it flopped. Yes, last year it flopped. It was one game. I'm not the type of player to judge a whole performance of one game. I'll give him at least 2 or 3 before I say whether they should be dropped or not. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm still giving it a go. I think with their connection, they're going to be a real force to be reckoned with. But other than that, Latrell Mitchell out, it sucks. But we still have Tommy, we still have Teddy, Cleary's still there. We've got Haas and Paulo up in the front row. I reckon we'll be just right, and I reckon we'll still take that win game 1.
Yeah, we've got enough class there, I think. And with Crimea as that replacement now for Latrell, definitely have him outside Toto. I think that Penrith connection is good to be seen again. And obviously, they're the best defensive combo in the competition, best centre and winger combination in the NRL in terms of defence. So, I know they struggled last year in Origin. I get that, and Crichton did not work, but. Second time lucky, and usually it pulls off as a good result. So hopefully this time it does, if that's the case. But Luke, I think you'll be cheering because you're a Queensland Maroons supporter, so you'll be very happy to see Latrell's out. And obviously, losing Latrell for us Blues, for me and Champ, that hurts us a lot. So what do you think about this loss? Like, is it a big loss for the Blues? And do you think Stephen Crichton will do the job in the centres, in your opinion?
Well, look, first off, as a Queensland supporter, I am very glad that he's not playing because I remember 2 years ago when Latrell and Tom Trbojevic were just on the mission and they just killed us. But having him not there, it just takes us it just takes the pressure off us a little bit. So but look, it's a bit of it is a big loss for them. I don't blame them, but. Unfortunately, when you have players going down, it sucks because, as we know, every state for Queensland, New South Wales, you want your best players in the game, but
exactly,
unfortunately, which is another day to go. He's gone, so it's a big loss, but as we know, but as we know, they have a new replacement of Stephen Crichton. So, look, I'm pretty sure he'll go okay, but he probably won't be as good like Latrell, as we know. But look, as we know, they're still going to be a hard side to beat. But I'm so confident. That the Queensland will stop them on Wednesday night because I'm pretty sure now, as we know, it's gonna be a very tight game. I really do.
Yeah. No, that's look. I think with how I guess the loss of the Latrell will affect us, I think it will affect the Blues. But I think hopefully with Stephen Crichton coming in, he's the right replacement. Like I think with Crichton being there, And as I said, he's a big game player. He's been in that situation before where it's been like grand finals or Origin, and obviously more successful in finals and grand finals other than Origin. But look, like I said, second time lucky with him being there. I think he can have a good performance hopefully and do a job because he's a player that can, perform like a superstar out in the field. Like he's obviously a class player, top 5 or even top 3 center in the comp right now. So I think he'll do a job. And if it's outside Toto, then them two will work together. I feel like because that Penrith connection is a connection that should not be doubted. But I get it; they didn't work last year together in Origin, but they're a connection that has gone stronger ever since. I felt like so. I wouldn't write them off, but. But look, Latrell, no doubt's a big loss. Like losing Latrell and his aggression, his approach to a big game, it sucks because he obviously is made for Origin. He's a player that he brings a lot of intimidation to the opposition. And he was versing Val Holmes, I think. Was he? Versing Val Holmes in that same side. So,
Yeah.
I think now Val Holmes will be having lots of versus Latrell, most likely versus Crichton now. But, losing Latrell sucks for us Blues fans. And hopefully he's back for game 2. So, hopefully he's back for game 2. All right. Away from Origin now, we will talk about something that is going to make me get pretty pissed off here because this was a call that should have never happened, and it's a call that I think is under disgrace. But, look, obviously, in yesterday's game between Manly and Knights, Cole went to the sin bin because of a tackle. Well, actually, a rugby league tackle was deemed as a high tackle, and went to the sin bin for it. Now, why did he go to the sin bin for it? Don't know. Can't really see the high tackle or the high contact towards the neck there. But maybe because it's because it's Ponga and the game will go into meltdown and the game and the referees will start panicking and press the panic button on their little watches or whatever and start to think that Ponga got hit. Time to give a penalty. Sin bin, goes to the bin. Like it's a whole joke. It's ridiculous and I'll give my main thoughts on it soon. But Champa, you probably saw the tackle that Cole did in Conga. How ridiculous was that? That's not a sin bin. No way.
The NRL has gone soft.
It has, definitely.
The NRL has gone soft. You cannot rush out on your opposing player because if you do, like what you saw with Colliver, you get fucking sin bin. Come the fuck on.
It's ridiculous.
It was a good shot. I was looking at it. I was thinking, "Wow, what a fucking hit!" Hold on, ref. Damn had I. Oh, God. You know what the ridiculous thing is? I was expecting that to happen because I've seen it before in so many other games where there's been so many players who rushed out of the line, smashed their player, got him around the upper section of their body. I don't think that was head high. No way. But I got him on the upper section, and they get sin bin for it. Like, come on. What you're doing is you're robbing these players of the one thing that they're really good at, and that's pulling off great hits. Gosh, man. Like, you're going to take away so many potential big hits because of a ruling that's ridiculous. And I feel like most of that play was because of Ponga. He was fine. He got up fine. He wasn't concussed or anything. The NRL has gone soft. I do not agree with that call whatsoever. Very, very similar to the Wade Graham hit on Davey Mawali. I think it was Mawali. I think it was it round one? Yeah, round one.
Yeah,
Very
round
similar to that. Very similar to that in my opinion. So I don't agree with it whatsoever. I think the NRL has gone soft. I think they need to pick up their balls before they start losing fans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think now with the fact that it was Ponga that got hit, that's why the referee panicked and gave a sim to Cola. But here's the thing. If the tackle was that bad, why didn't Ponga go off for concussion and precautionary reasons? Like, if it was that bad of a tackle, then how come Ponga didn't go off for a bit and I guess have a rest because he could have been concussed, as they do say, after every bad tackle there is, So why didn't Ponga go off? I mean, he's used to going off anyway, but in that situation, if the tackle was that bad by Cola, send him off as well, but just for a rest. And if he passes that supposed concussion, then bring him back on. But Come on, this is stupid. Luke, I don't know if you saw the tackle, and I assume you're watching yesterday's game between Manly and Knights. If you saw the sin bin with young Kohler for Manly, do you think that was a sin bin, or do you think that was the right call?
I don't think it was a sin bin. I think that was just a good hit, and usually when it's a good hit, you have to move on. You have to move on and play the game. But and for the referee to time off the game and put him and put him in the sin bin. These referees are a bunch of idiots.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the bunkers and the idiots, and not all the time, but we've seen teams get robbed, and then it pisses me off sometimes.
holy fuck!
It does, yeah.
Because these referees have to look in the mirror and say, "Oh, I made a bad mistake. We have to call this club, and we say we're sorry." But at the end of the day, saying sorry is not good enough. It's over. Sorry's not good enough to make it better.
I agree.
So
I 100% agree.
So these referees should be undone by.
Oh well, for sure. I mean, I'd rather see most of those referees go back to, I guess, schoolboy days and let them trade there. You know, become an apprentice again, because none of them are that good at what they do in their full-time jobs. So that's where all those referees should go. But yeah, look, as for that call yesterday, I agree with you both. It wasn't a sin bin at all. It was a ridiculous decision to be made there. And Ponga was losing the ball as well. Like, as Ponga was running at Kohler, you could tell Ponga was losing the possession of the ball. So, a few many minutes, but we're going to move on. I think that call was ridiculous. That changed the game, in my opinion. So we'll done in that case. So it's not good. All right, on to the fifth and final topic now, and this is a topic that is, good to see, because I think with Harris DeVita, Harris DeVita coming back to the game again, as we all know, played for the Warriors back in 2022, and played, a couple of games before that too. But this year was a gap year for CH, for Corey, Chanel Harris DeVita. It was a gap year this year. Wanted to have a break and wanted to have time off from rugby league. So it's good he's back now for 2024 and 2025. Champa, when you saw this news, what did you make of the news? Was it good to see him back? And where do you think he'll play if he comes back to the Warriors and plays first grade?
Yeah, look, Chanel Harris DeVito. I've always been a big fan of him. He's a player that I thought that, I didn't want to see him leave, because he has so much potential to be a big name player. And I know I say this about a lot of players, but when I watched him play, his defense was mint. Like for a very small framed halfback, he could pull up some good tackles, which was great. I do feel like his kicking and in his passing game could have had some work, but over time he would have got better with that. Seeing him leave, it was kind of sad. I always thought that he could have been a big man player, but he's back, and that's great to see. He'll be back for 2024, 2025, and he'll be back at the Warriors. He's the club that it all started for him. So it's great to see him back. However, I don't see him staying at the Warriors for long. I do feel like another club's going to pick him up. I really do feel like another club's going to pick him up, because where do you play him? You've got so much utility players in the Warriors, and it's very hard to find one, because you obviously got you've got your starting halves, which is Temre Martin, Sean Johnson. You got Dylan Walker he's sort of that usual jersey 14. You got RTS coming back to the club. And then you also got Metcalf. You got Volkman. Where does Harris DeVita fit in all that? The only place I see him really is reserve grade. So I'm sure he'll kill it down there. But this is where I think that he probably won't stay for long. And another club might pick him up. A club that really probably needs a half. Dragons. It's probably one of the clubs I think that might be looking at him. It could really help with their depth and utility. I think he'll suit well in the Dragons. But look, it's great to see him back. I'm sure he's going to kill it. But I don't see him getting past reserve grade. really. Not with RTS coming back and everything like that yet. I think reserve grade's where he's going to stay, and I think another club's going to pick him up.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. The Warriors have a lot of utilities already. Got Dylan Walker there. Got Ronald Volkman as well. Luke Medcalf. So there's a few options to play in that jersey 14 role. And with Harris Levere coming back to the club, it means someone's going to leave. Like I feel like someone's going to leave. Someone will end up leaving the club. Someone's going to be told to pack their bags and leave the Warriors because I don't see how they can fit all those hearts and all those utilities in the one team. So, yeah, obviously something's happening there. Someone's going to move on. Someone's going to have to leave. But, Luke, what do you think about Chanel Harris that came back to the NRL? Obviously, was at the Warriors before. And this year was a gap year, which means he took the year off. But we'll come back now next year to the Warriors. What do you make of this signing by the Warriors? Good or bad call?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's very good. It's good. It's good to see him back, and yeah, but I actually don't think he will be at the Warriors for much longer. I think he'll go to a different club.
So you reckon like a Dragons maybe or a Canberra, in your opinion?
I think he'll go to Canberra.
Canberra, yeah, it could happen because they need a 5'8" after Wyden leaves. So
yeah,
it could happen. It really could happen. But obviously, Chanel Harris-David is a player that had a lot of talent growing up. David in 2019, everyone thought he was the next Sean Johnson until he had some injuries and had some issues and missed games and game time, so which made it tough for him. And I think he had some personal issues as well with Nathan Brown, who was the coach at the time. So he hasn't had the best sort of run, I guess, as of recent in the NRL. But hopefully this year off did him some good. And hopefully now in 2024 and 2025, he finds his feet at the Warriors and fulfills his full potential that we know he can play to because he is an incredible player and is a good defender too for a half from memory because he used to fold blokes. Like he used to fold back rollers and stuff. And he was a very good defender, I remember. So Harris Fair came back to the NRL is a good thing and hopefully kills it for the Warriors. You know, I think he will play that jersey 14 role, I feel like, until Walker might start maybe next year. But again, someone will leave, I reckon. And who leaves, I don't know, but they're going to have to force someone out because you can't have that many utilities like Harris Avita, Volkman, Metcalf, and Mario Martin, Johnson, and RTS back at the club too. Too much utilities and too much halves, so someone has to go. But we'll see what the Warriors do, I guess. But everyone, that there wraps up the Ankle Breaker podcast, episode 60 for tonight. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it, boys. And yeah, again, thank you for watching and bring on State of Origin on Wednesday. Thank you, Champa, and thank you, Luke.
Right.
Thanks for having me on, bro. Come on, the Blues!
Up the Maroons! Come on!
Oh, it's going to be a big Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be
Queenslander!
I think you meant Blues, Luke. You meant Blues, mate. No. But, you know, it'll be a big game Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens on game one because no doubt Origin will be big, as it always is, and I'm looking forward to it. But, yeah, obviously, go and subscribe to both myself, Champa, and Luke. His YouTube channel in the comments in the description down below. All our channels are linked there, so please go and subscribe to this channel, subscribe to all that Champa and Luke Melbourne Storm Fan as well. So would be greatly appreciated to myself and them. But yeah, that wraps up episode 60 of the Ankle Breaker podcast. See you next Monday for 61. So have a good night and have a good Wednesday night as well. State of Origin is here. Let's go. Let's go.
Up the Maroons.
Have a good night.